The Saudi-led bombing of rebel-held Yemen has reached a new ferocity in recent days. Dozens have been killed in airstrikes on civilian homes, schools, factories, and this hospital in the north, supported by the charity Doctors Without Borders. In a year and a half, at least 6,000 people have been killed, with Saudi forces using billions of pounds worth of British jets and weapons. And as I discovered last month, the destruction of infrastructure and food supplies has caused humanitarian disaster, with hundreds of thousands of children almost starving to death.
I think the plane came from this way, this side.
In the port of Hadida in the south, Jamal Thabit showed me how his food businesses have been destroyed. This is an airstrike. Thabit operates many industrial plants here, but it's the dairy and cooking oil sites that were bombed.
We were hit with 5 missiles. At one time, it was one of the major cooking oil factories in the country. And as you see now, the whole thing was destroyed.
25 workers died in a fire that raged for 3 days. We drive to the port, and suddenly it's obvious why food imports have been so disrupted. So all of these were hit? All. The Saudi-led airstrikes hit the port here in Hadida really badly. They've taken out 2 of these major storage depots which were used for civilian food supplies, but the most damaging attack was on the cranes that unload the ships. 5 of them were systematically destroyed. The Saudis say they were bombing military targets, claiming the rebels had weapons here. Their naval blockade means cargo ships have to wait offshore to be checked, making unloading painfully slow. What's been done here is truly shocking. This port serves 70 to 80% of the imports coming into Yemen, a country almost entirely dependent on imported food. There's no way you could possibly disable this port without knowing it would have a catastrophic effect on food supplies for ordinary civilians. The port manager's team believe British and American weapons may have been used here. They gathered as many of the bomb fragments as they could to show me. There weren't any serial numbers remaining, but we've shown these images to Human Rights Watch and other weapons experts who say they could be parts of either Paveway 4 or Paveway 2 guided bombs made in Britain and America, respectively. Britain is understood to have sold more than 2,000 Paveway 4s to Saudi Arabia last year, and Human Rights Watch have documented their use in this city before.
The strongest evidence we've seen has actually been in Hadida. It was from a bomb that was dropped in 2016 on a hangar containing food, containing rice. And the markings we could see afterwards indicated that bomb was manufactured in the UK in May 2015.
2 weeks ago, the Saudi-led coalition admitted to what it called 2 shortcomings in 2 out of 8 cases in which civilians had been hit. But campaigners argue there are now so many such cases that Britain must stop selling weapons to the Saudis. Amid more evidence of civilian casualties, the US said it is scaling down help to the Saudi armed forces over Yemen. But Britain is still involved in both targeting and weapons supply. The question is, how long can it go on saying it doesn't know whether Saudi Arabia is hitting civilians?